awesome. Okay, so I'm so excited to share this information with y'all tonight over our Super Saturday this last weekend. One of the main things that they covered, and sorry, I'm going to go kind of fast and furious through this so I don't take up a whole lot of your time because there's a lot of information. But what we covered was these new welcome kits that we're getting. This is going to go out to all of our new ambassadors starting next week when they join Plexus. And they are truly amazing. I'm so excited about what they're giving us to start training our new ambassadors. So there's two main components inside this kit that I wanted to cover tonight. And the first one is their Getting Started Guide. It looks like this. It's a spiral-bound training manual that is full of very great information for them to get started. So I'm just going to kind of run through the manual with y'all tonight so you can see what they have. And there's some great information I even learned in this manual. So the first chapter is the power of network marketing. This is just basically giving them an overview of what network marketing is and why it could be helpful for them. They might have just joined us as a wholesale ambassador and not really even have any idea what network marketing is and the freedom that it can give them. So it's just going to give them a rough overview of what it is and hopefully change their perspective if their only idea was to be a wholesale buyer. So it might inspire them. The second section is the action section. And I love that they started this out by telling them to state their why, because I really am starting to put a huge emphasis on this with my team and find out as soon as someone joins Plexus what their why is and have them really think about, you know, why they're joining Plexus and why they might want this business and what it could do for them and get them starting to dream about the possibilities that this can do for their lives. So I love that it talks about what their why is. It has them goal setting. It talks about goal setting and affirmations, and it talks about some things they can do in the beginning to get going. It has this one quote in here that I love by my good friend Tamara Holloway. It says, "Belief doesn't come from your success. Success comes from belief." So we have to believe first in order to really achieve that true success. So I think that's just a great little quote. It goes through, it talks about your Frank's list. The Frank's list, if you haven't heard this before, this is a way to brainstorm to come up with all of the people that you know that might be great prospects for you with Plexus. Frank's is an acronym that stands for friends, relatives, acquaintances, neighborhood, kids connections, and service organizations. You know, when I first started this and I heard about the Frank's list, I kind of thought, well, I have my Facebook friend list. Why would I need to troubleshoot what more I would need? Because they're pretty much all listed there. But I realized when I started to sit down and look over my Frank's list that I have a lot of people that I haven't connected with on Facebook. So I kind of use this Frank's list also to find people that I'm not connected with on Facebook that I could be to help expand my social media network also. So there's a couple ways you can use this list. But it's a good way to kind of, you know, think about who else could I be adding as a friend on Facebook to help build that network. The next section that it talked about in here was income producing activity. This is a term that you hear us use a lot. If you haven't yet, you will the longer you're with Plexus. But it's spending your time doing income producing activity instead of wasting it doing things that you feel like you're doing all this work, but you're not really getting anywhere. Things that are income producing activity is something that is going to bring you a customer, it's going to bring you a team member, or it's going to help build that team. So it's something that is going to actually produce income for you through Plexus. So they came up with this thing that's called the Perfect 10, and that is share Plexus with 3 people, share the Plexus products with 3 people, share the Plexus opportunity with 3 people, train 3 of your team members, and host or attend 1 event. So if you do those 10 things in a week, that's your perfect 10 week. So Try to do this every single week. Constantly be reaching out to new people to share the products or the opportunity with them. It might be following up with somebody again that has talked to you in the past to, bring it up to them again, especially anytime something new changes with Plexus. It might have not have been a good opportunity then, but it might be now. So, don't ever rule anybody out. The next section that is in our book is customer care. And I love that they call it customer care. Here's the section here. Instead of customer service, because we are in a health and wellness business. And people don't want to be sold to when we're talking about their health. They want us to care about them. They want us to learn about their issues. It is very much about a personal relationship. So customer care is a much better wording than customer service when you're dealing with someone's health. So they talk about the importance of following up. It is so crucial that if you have a customer, that you are checking in with them and you are following up with them and making sure that they're taking the products correctly and that they're getting the results that they're wanting. It talks about asking for referrals. I think this is such an easy way to build business that we forget to do. Our customers might not want to be ambassadors, but they might still have friends who need our products. So it never hurts to ask your customers or even people who tell you no, if they might have somebody that's interested in your products. And if they do, would they keep you in mind? So always ask for referrals, because you never know what you can get from that. So that was the customer care section. The fourth section is the social media and online success. A lot of us in this industry have built our teams through social media. It is such an easy way to do network marketing. It takes away all of the party planning and the carrying inventory that you used to see with network marketing, and it has really revolutionized the way we do business. You have your entire network right there at your fingertips, which has just been so amazing for me with my business using social media. So I highly encourage you to use it. They talked this weekend about etiquette on social media and how to really make it effective for you. Make sure that you're authentic. That's one of the most important things you do when you're posting. One thing that our host at Super Saturday said to us is, if you wouldn't say this to someone in person, don't post it on Facebook. So, which sounds, okay, yeah, that's true. But you think about some of the wording that we use. Don't say, join my team, it's the best thing ever, because you're not going to say that to them in person. So make sure the wording that you're using on social media is authentic, it's genuine, and it's from you. Like, these are really your words. Don't just copy and paste everything that you see other people use, which can be great and helpful a lot, but make sure that some of your posts are your own words, because your audience is going to notice if it doesn't sound anything like you, and they're not going to buy into that because they want to hear from you. They don't want to hear from the other people. So make sure you're authentic. Also, if you want to post a whole lot about Plexus, which can be very effective, it really can, because of the way Facebook works, your audience is not seeing every single one of your posts. So if you're posting 3 Plexus posts a day, that's great, but make sure your ratio of Plexus post to personal post are even. If it's going to be out of balance, make sure it's more personal than Plexus. So I don't want to see 3 Plexus posts a day and 1 personal post every other day. I want to see 3 personal and 3 Plexus all in one day. It might sound like a lot, and for you, it might just look like 1 and 1 a day. Whatever you choose, make sure you're consistent. If you're only posting about Plexus once a week and then posting about your family every day, odds are good your audience is only going to see a Plexus post maybe once every few months, if that's all you're putting out there. So you're going to miss out on a whole lot if that's as little as you're putting out. So just stay in balance with how you're doing your social media posting. It talked about some other avenues that you can use for social media. Facebook has been the main one that I have used, but I know a lot of people have used Instagram or Twitter or YouTube or some other things. I use YouTube for training purposes, but there are so many other social media avenues out there that you can look into. The fifth thing that we talked about in here was events. Just the importance of getting to events and holding events. This can be an online event. It doesn't have to be something where you open up your house and have people in it and have a party. It can be. It's a great way if you want to start your business that way. It's always one way you can do it. But if you don't want to do it and you're not ready to step out of your comfort zone and do something like that, you can do those events, you know, in the comfort of your home behind the computer screen. Do an online Facebook event. Those are great to get people seeing what it is you're selling, especially if you're a new ambassador and you just joined. It's a great way to jumpstart your business. So I love the online events. There's also video conference calls, Zoom meetings like these. These are great to do. Annual events that Plexus hosts. If you're ever able to go to a Plexus event, get to one. They are amazing. You don't want to miss out. We have convention coming this summer in Vegas. It's going to be so great. I would love to see you all there. So events are, and they're a great way to just build relationships with other ambassadors. So I love our events. The sixth section that we had in here was sharing Plexus. And this was kind of the meat of it to help people learn what to do now. Like, how do I share Plexus with my friends and family? One of the things they talked about was preparing your elevator speech. So what an elevator speech is if you were in an elevator and you have about 15 seconds, and I have a Plexus t-shirt on and someone asks me, what's Plexus? What are you going to say? Or if somebody asks you, what do you do? What are you going to say? Do you have a quick 15, 20-second speech put together? So for me, I try to keep it very short and sweet, but I also kind of try to ask them a question. I'll say, I'm a leader with Plexus. Have you heard of them? And then if they tell me that they haven't, I'll just say, we're a health and wellness company that specializes in blood sugar regulation, gut health, pain management, and just healthy wellness. Would you like a business card? And then that's something real quick, gives them a quick summary, gives them a card in their hand, and then, you know, if it's an elevator speech, ideally you're going your own separate ways after that. Make sure you have business cards. So that's our next thing. Buying those supplies are so crucial. So the business card is one of the most important business tools that you can invest in. It's super cheap. You can get on, there's lots of different sites you can log on. You can create your own little business card. But you never know when you're going to talk to somebody out in public and be in a hurry and not have time to trade contact information. So make sure you have them handy at all times. So the next thing that they talked about was prospecting and using your frank lists that we created back earlier in the chapters, and kind of how to use that list, how to reach out to people, how to be authentic when you're reaching out to them and talking to them. They talked about blocking objections. This is a great one because you're going to hear a lot of no's, and what to do when you hear a no. So one of the methods that they talked about using was the feel, felt, found method. This is where if somebody tells you, I can't do Plexus right now, I'm just too busy. And I could say, I so understand how you feel. I felt that way too when it first came to me. I have 4 kids at homeschool. It's just, I get what it feels like to be busy. But what I found was this business is something that really you can fit into the, you know, the little small short moments of your day. I don't necessarily sit down and work Plexus for 8 hours at a time, but you know, I'll do it in 15-minute increments here and there. And I found it's worked great for our family. So that is I understand how you feel. I felt that way too. What I have found is this feel, felt, found method also works great for even in situations that maybe you haven't felt it. Maybe you know somebody else that has. If somebody says to you, I can't do Plexus because I work full time. I don't fully understand how you feel because I don't work full time. I stay home, but I do have a friend who felt that way too. And she's now one of the top leaders with Plexus because what she's found is this is something that she can fit in after work, just short hours at a time. She'll do a little bit at her lunch break and then she will work in the evening. And she's found that she can retire. She's going to be able to retire this year from her job and do this and stay home with her kids. So you can use other people's examples when you're using the feel, felt, found. Another thing that they talked about with blocking objections is what we call the shield of confidence. This is a objection blocking you will use when somebody comes to you wanting to compare Plexus to another product. I absolutely adore this method because it keeps you from comparing it to something else. And if you are going to spend time, if someone comes to you and says, what's the difference between Plexus and Advocare, or Plexus and Thrive, or there's so many other healthcare businesses out there, if you're going to go and you're going to research their products and you're going to spend time looking into their compensation plan, you are wasting income producing time doing that. Don't do that. All you need to know about is your own products and your own compensation plan. And so what the Shield of Confidence is you tell them what you know. You don't talk to them about the competing company. What you want to know is your story plus 2 more testimonies. So if someone asks me, and what's the difference between, how is Plexus better than Advocare? I'll say, I don't really know much about Advocare, but I do know that for me, Plexus, it helped me lose 15 pounds and gave me all this energy that I needed, being a mom of 4 kids. For my dad, he had rheumatoid arthritis, and now he is in full remission and has no more pain. And for my sister, she had severe asthma. I mean, it was debilitating to the point that she almost died several times. She was on steroids and inhalers, and now she's completely medication-free. We have a 60 money-back guarantee. That's the next thing that you'll say. The ingredients have scientific testing. You can research each of the individual ingredients on PubMed. There's all kinds of research behind the product's ingredients. There's thousands of online testimonies that I can add you to a testimonial group so you can read other people's stories and see that it's not just mine. And we have had phenomenal growth in our company. We're getting close to being a $1 billion company, which is in the future for our company. So that's what we call our Shield of Confidence. So you have the testimonies in the middle, the 60-day guarantee, the ingredients have scientific testing, the real life testimonies, and our phenomenal group. And that will build your shield. And I have a picture of that if you want to see the full picture of what that Shield of Confidence looks like. I love that. So that is our blocking objection section. So the next section that was covered at Super Saturday was building a team. So building a team is absolutely crucial if you want to become a leader in Plexus. This is one of those businesses where you cannot be successful on your own. You have to have your team, which I do love because it makes this not about me. I'm not a diamond because of myself. I'm a diamond because of everybody that is amazing on my team. It really is not me. And if that's something that you want to aspire to, you have to build a team. So they talked about ways to do that, ways to share the opportunity with people. We talked about the power of 3, which I think it's so great because it's so simple. Here's kind of a photo of it that shows the breakdown of it. It shows this person signed these 3 people, and they signed 3 people, and they signed 3 people. And it shows how you can build this team without it all being on you. I have 7,000 people on my team, but they are not by any means all on me. And so it's something that you can have this huge team without having to feel like there's no way I could have 7,000 people on my team. Well, you could just by the power of 3. So it makes it less scary for people to see that this really can be achievable because it's not the power of yourself that's doing it. It's a group effort. The next section that they talked about was product knowledge. I feel like this is so very key in selling our products. You want to know what they do, and you want to know how they can help. And one thing that I love that they gave us in these kits are these awesome little product cards. So they're these little cardboard-ish, or they're good cardstock cards. They're really heavy duty. And there's one for every single card, and you have a little plastic cover carrier thing to keep them in, and you can just keep them in your purse. Tell your new ambassadors, keep them in your purse, so that if you're sitting in car line or you're waiting for somebody, they're great to pull out and review. They have the ingredients, the directions to the products. They don't have the ingredients on these cards, but they do have they tell you what they're for, what they do, and they have special little talking points on the back of them, which is cool. So for like Plexus Block, it says talking points, promotes healthy weight control in conjunction with a healthy diet. It blocks up to 48% of starches and sugars from converting to glucose, and it minimizes free radical damage and oxidative stress, which I didn't even realize the block did that. So that's the cool thing is there's, as you go through, you'll realize some of the things that these products can do, and I guarantee you'll learn something new. So they're fabulous. I'm super, super excited about that for our new ambassadors so that they can have greater product knowledge. And then the last section that we talked about in this guide was the compensation plan. There's a little section at the end that covers the compensation plan, and we went over a little brief update. So if you're new and you don't understand the compensation plan fully, it's a less intimidating one than the full thing, but it gives them a good idea of how they can make income with this business. And that's kind of the end of the guide. There's a little glossary at the end. But guys, this truly is a good, solid training for a new ambassador when they join the company. I'm so excited for it. They're going to be on sale for us. If you didn't get to go to Super Saturday and you want to get your hands on one of these, starting in February, you're going to be able to buy it for $16 in your back office. It might be $16.95, something like that. So I'm so excited, and thank you guys for being on tonight, and hopefully that was helpful.